You've got to want to do it or die. Otherwise, simply no point in even starting. There's nothing to touch it. The hugeness of a cinema. And please God, don't let it die. And I said, I'm doing this reading of a film. It's about this person. She wants to give up drinking too much wine. She wants to give up cigarettes. She thinks she's too fat. It's never going to be made. Nothing happens. She said, is it Bridget Jones' diary? I said, how do you know?
Hello and welcome to the BIFA Podcast, supported by Kia, hosted by me, Joy Hunter.
And me, Karis Aldridge. Each week we'll be talking to a new guest from the world of independent film about their journey into the industry, their most inspiring cinema-going experiences, and what makes independent film so special.
Exactly. In other words, we've basically convinced the British Independent Film Awards to allow us to fangirl over movie stars to their face.
Exactly. And this week, our guest is Celia Imrie. Unbelievable. The industry legend herself. I mean, she was awarded a CBE in 2023, a Rain Dance Icon Award this year. She has been in every iconic British film, basically, that there's ever been.
If it's worth seeing, she was in it, basically.
Absolutely, including Calendar Girls, Finding Your Feet, Bridget Jones, Danny McPhee, Mamma Mia, The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. Absolutely fabulous. I mean, basically any amazing British movie she is in.
She's in it. Yeah. It was such an honour to get to speak to her. I was genuinely so starstruck.
Oh my gosh, same.
And of course, at the moment, you can catch her starring in Thursday Murder Club. She's also picking up a lot of traction for Better Things, which she did a while ago but is now on iPlayer, and loads of people are loving that, including me. And of course, we have to mention that she will be appearing in Celebrity Traitors, Karis.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited about that as well. Yeah, I'm really hoping for some iconic moments, and I'm sure she will deliver on those. We also had a great chat about all of her various roles and how many different genres she's been in. We talked a bit about a short film that I think we didn't say quite right at the time.
We may have fudged it up a little bit.
Got to give a correction. So the right name for the short film we were talking about is 54 Days. I think we said maybe 55 or 56.
We said pretty much every other type of day.
Days,
yes,
so
but it's by the brilliant Catherine Joy White. So yes.
Sorry about that. Sorry for spreading false news
Catherine.
On the BIFA podcast. But in the meantime, please enjoy our wonderful chat with the amazing icon herself,
Celia Imrie.
Well, Celia, thank you so much for joining us on the BIFA podcast. We're so excited to chat to you.
So am I.
And you recently won the Rain Dance Icon Award. How was that for you?
Well, it was completely wonderful because my dear friend, Ol Parker, gave me the award.
Lovely.
And I couldn't think of anybody better. Because we like to keep living the dream. And that really was. I mean, whatever an icon is, it's quite a good thing to be, I think.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So I was very thrilled.
We'd love to ask a bit about one of your first performances, because I understand you were both a rat and a sausage in a pantomime.
I know. What on earth could I have been wearing? That's
there
the
must
mystery.
be some photos hidden away somewhere at home.
Yes, but to dance as a sausage, I can't imagine.
Very
but
difficult.
It's in the programme, along with being a Turkish maid and a sailor, because it was Dick Whittington, so that's why I was a rat.
Fantastic.
But yes, that's how I began. I'm a chorus girl.
Brilliant.
So I'm very proud of that, actually, because who knows what was ahead.
Yeah, of course. The journey to come. Similar to myself, you started out in ballet.
Yes.
Before being told, as many of us are, myself included, that it was not quite the journey to go on.
We were the wrong size.
The wrong size, is how it's
Breaks our
politely
heart,
put.
doesn't it? Yes. Broke our
Always,
hearts,
yes.
I'm sure. Yours as well as mine. My father was a radiologist, and luckily I had two wonderful sisters who are nurses. So he was happy with that, but not so happy with me to just cavort around the stage. So I promised him I would do a dancing teacher's course at GSA. So actually I'm a total fraud, because I didn't be on the acting course. I was on the dancing teacher's course, but I used to sneak into the back of acting lessons. Then the rest I picked up as I went along. So I'm sort of untrained, untamed.
I was going to say, you had a sense of the mischievous spirit there quite early on, just sneaking into the back of the classes,
Absolutely, yeah.
which is great.
Nice. Was there A moment of inspiration that made you want to go into acting? Was there perhaps a film or a show that you watched that lit that spark for you?
Well, no, it's just showing off, really. If I wasn't allowed to show off as a dancer, then, that was going to be the next best. Actually, school plays, as so many people begin. Jessica in Merchant of Venice. And then my darling algebra teacher allowed me to go away and come back to play Ophelia, I think it was. I love the idea of her being a terrifying algebra teacher, but Miss Nisbet, but a marvellous production of plays, Shakespeare plays. She was my influence at school, I suppose, and Miss Hawksworth and Miss Hardcastle and Miss Bellairs were all my dancing teachers.
Nice,
which I loved.
Yeah, you never forget those.
No.
I know, I love
teachers
that, how
leave in you.
quickly that comes to mind that you remember all those teachers. They make such an impact, don't they?
Well, what was wonderful about Miss Bellairs, and Bill Nye will remember her because we were there at the same time.
Oh, wow.
She was the most wonderful Greek dancing teacher. And I don't mean smashing plates. I mean dancing barefoot with scarves and in a tunic, but dancing to the Greek gods. So you dance to Persephone or you dance to Neptune, or you learnt all about Greek mythology and free spirit dancing. And I wish more people did it. It's wonderful for children because it's so free with no shoes and socks. I loved it. That was my favourite.
And so you're one of 5 children, is that correct? So I can imagine the home life being quite, full of joy and busy. Do you remember doing anything with your siblings, going to the theatre with them or the cinema?
Cinema, I think my first real memory of going to the cinema with my brother was 101 Dalmatians, which I absolutely adored.
Nice.
Great movie.
I think I already wanted to be Cruella somewhere along the line. But yes. And I wish I went to the cinema more. And please, God, don't let it die, because there's nothing to touch it. The hugeness of a cinema. And I love to sit in the front row.
Nice. Front row girl.
Rather.
Talking of cinema, is there a particular moment from a film that you saw in the cinema that you're like, I'm so glad I saw this on the big screen?
There's so many, really. I mean, all the sort of musicals, West Side Story, Sound of Music, Cabaret, all these fabulous musicals. Chicago, I still love. So they weren't necessarily the first ones, but they were certainly ones that made an impression.
Is it Chicago with they both reached for the gun?
Yeah.
That sequence won the Oscar, didn't it?
There you have 2 brilliant actresses, Renee and
Catherine Zeta-Jones is brilliant.
Brilliant
Yeah.
actresses
Stunning.
and brilliant dancers. I mean, hidden talents which suddenly were there on the screen. Fantastic.
Yeah, the choreography is just brilliant in a way of doing a lot of the storytelling for you without even having to kind of speak the words.
And
It's
the West
fantastic.
Side Story choreography.
Oh, so good.
unbelievable.
Fabulous, because it was fabulous acting within the dancing, which was the most
I think
important.
hard to do, actually, hard to pull off. So yeah, and each of them, of the musicals that you've mentioned, have these kind of real powerhouse women at the centre of them as well, which again probably ignites that passion in you to see that on screen and know that could be something you could do in the future.
Well, I love documentaries more than drama, actually,
Ooh,
at the moment. And I've seen recently a wonderful documentary about Liza Minnelli with my son, and I watched it together. And she really fought for that role, actually. But thank God, she was quite breathtaking, actually. I did little talking pictures about Silence of the Lambs yesterday.
Ooh, nice.
And I understand from what I had to read, Jodie Foster fought for Clarice. And I love that. I love to learn that it's not all plain sailing at all for these actors, and thank God they did fight for what they got, because I can't imagine any of the roles being better.
Yeah, they completely made it their own. Yeah,
Definitely. That tenacity that independent filmmakers have, which you kind of have to get stuff made these days, or sort of always, really.
Well, I mean, I'm absolutely all for independent films, and funnily enough, I've just been on a jury for the Holly Shorts.
Oh, fun.
So I've watched 10 films back to back.
Nice.
Very, very different, all of them. But a hard task, actually, to have a beginning, middle and an end. And I think in a short film, the story is imperative. A story to go through a film, whether it's long or short. And I had a wonderful opportunity to do a film called 59 Days, I believe it's called. But I need to check that with you.
Oh, a short film with Catherine.
With Catherine Joy White.
Yes. Yeah, she's brilliant.
I know. You'll correct me if it's
57.
It might be 57 or 50. No, it might be 58.
I went to the premiere of it, and it was so
Did you?
brilliant. Yeah.
Well, I'm very thrilled to have been part of that. As an actor, you have to wait to be asked. Well, the great thing about Catherine and anybody who makes a film from scratch, they're doing it. They're not waiting to be asked. They're getting it together. And there's a lot to get together to make a film.
Yeah.
But hats off when, like Catherine, they do, or any of the directors of the short films that I've watched. At the drop of a hat, I will do a short film or a student film. Of course, why not?
I've often found if I've visited sets where it's independent, you really feel that energy, on set. You can feel that passion and that sort of excitement. Have you felt that on the independent films you've
Yes, I think so, because you don't have the luxury of money, and everything is so expensive, and every second counts. So yes, it's wonderful. Oddly enough, an independent film set would be much more like a theatre company, I suppose, because we're all rolling our sleeves up and getting on with it. Whereas a huge film set, which by the way is fabulous too, but you're very aware of the money that is available, whereas on an independent film set you're very aware of the money that's not available. So you really have to get on with it. But I like that.
Yeah, and it's amazing to think how many short films that you've been a part of in your, I think it's 129 credits on IMDb.
What, films?
No, I think it's, yeah,
What?
including short films.
Blithering
No,
heck.
actually, I think it's more than that. I think it was 189 because I thought you were going to make it to
Films?
200 soon. Yeah, that's crazy.
What have I been doing with my life? I can't
Working
believe it.
incredibly
No,
hard.
it makes me think, what have I been doing in my
yeah,
life?
yeah, it's honestly
Well,
so
I'm thrilled.
remarkable.
I'm
thrilled.
thrilled.
And to see, when I was going through to see so many short films and being part of that as well, it's the fact that you make
Yes, no,
so much
seriously,
time for it is amazing.
I am, not making it up, because I do any short films or independent films terribly important.
Nice. Well, when this goes out, you're going to get a flooded inbox.
That's okay.
Everyone pitching you.
It's
So
okay.
yeah, that's exciting. Were there any other big differences as you did more film work compared to being in the theatre?
It's odd. I mean, being in a theatre company, you rehearse for so many weeks, so you get to know each other. If you go onto a film set and maybe you've just got 1 day, 2 days, that's quite alarming.
Yeah.
Because you've got to do it in those 2 precious days. And there's a lot of pressure. And of course you don't get to know each other so well. I mean, there are occasions where you have to get into bed with somebody and you've never even met them. I mean, any actress will tell you that's not exactly easy to do. It is very different, but it isn't. Doing the part, I suppose, is sort of the same, but the surroundings are very different. And actually, it thrills me, but alarms me when you go onto a film set. Even last week I was doing my part in Trying, Rafe Spall's brilliant series.
Yeah.
And actually I looked around. I was playing a hoarder, as anybody who knows me would say, no acting required. But I looked round and I was just alarmed at how many people there were. But it's thrilling, but, it's quite a responsibility as well. Whereas,
Sometimes.
in a theatre, you just want to die of fright by yourself in the wings.
Yeah.
You think your heart's just going to fall out of your costume onto the floor. I mean, it's, I don't know. And then you think, well, what am I doing?
Yeah. But then do you feel elated
When I'm
once you're
having a
on
glass
there?
of champagne at the end,
Yeah.
yes, then it's
And
marvellous.
only then,
Yes.
only when the champagne is had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely had that feeling in the wings of what on earth am I doing with my life? And then afterwards you're like, again.
Yeah. Well, I think you said that actually that nervousness is really just excitement. And
Well, it is the flip side.
yeah,
It's the same parts of the brain, nervousness and excitement.
If you can try to remind yourself
exactly.
of that
Yes.
on the first night.
And it was in those early theatre days that you kind of banded with some incredible people. I mean, you were, did you do an Australian production of Hedda Gabler?
Yes. I was 22 and I'd never been abroad before. But yes, I found myself on a plane to Australia. I was the understudy to Pamson Clement from EastEnders and in charge of the props and the tea girl. And I didn't really want to do the job, actually, because I was desperate to get, to do a part. But then I realised it was with Glenda Jackson, double Oscar winner, Trevor Nunn directing, an actor who I'd not heard of before called Patrick Stewart. I wonder what happened to him.
So unknown.
Rings a bell.
Too wonderful to resist. So that was my foray into working with great stars, actually.
Yeah, that is one thing. Looking at your career, every cast you're a part of, they're just impeccable. Like
Stellar cast,
it's incredible.
Aren't I lucky?
Were there any particular lessons you picked up from that experience?
Glenda was extraordinary because, well, first of all, I wondered why she never sunbathed. But, Hedda Gabler is like Hamlet. It's a huge part, and lying out in the sun is too tiring. But she was not only astonishing in the part, which I loved watching every night, but she would stay in her dressing room and have a fleet of people, especially when we got to Los Angeles, a fleet of other stars coming to meet her. And in the matinee, when we would go off, she would stay in her dressing room and meet everybody. Because double Oscar winner, she was terribly famous. And I would hide behind the flats and see Greer Garson, Betty Davis, all these people coming in to say hello to her. It was thrilling, actually. But she stayed and met everybody. That was astonishing. And then, having been her tea girl, 40 years later, this is the weirdest thing, I get to play her daughter when she plays King Lear, aged 80.
It's unbelievable, wow.
I mean,
That's an amazing full circle
yes,
moment. Yeah.
thrilling.
Incredible. How was that to reunite?
Well, quite scary, actually, but marvellous to have that chance. She was astonishing.
It seems like you just have an amazing ability to, you're a real opportunity. You see these opportunities, but you also see the brilliance of all of these people and how that's managed to kind of carry you into your career, even in those early days. And I think that sounds a bit like your relationship with Victoria Wood, who really kind of, through her work and her writing and, of course, iconic Acorn Antiques, which is amazing, got you into that space and really known for your amazing comedic acting.
I am eternally grateful to her for giving me, Miss Babs and all the things she wrote. What was astonishing about her, actually, was that, she wrote all these fabulous parts and gave them all away, all these marvellous, lines, and gave them all away. So, I mean, it was and also we had tiny little mini company that stayed together, and that was wonderful because even though we probably didn't meet necessarily much in between the series, we could come together and get on really fast because we knew each other. It was a wonderful time, and she wrote like music, so everything had to be absolutely as she'd written it, which was great. You mentioned Acorn Antiques. That was never done in front of an audience because I don't think we'd ever have got through it. We had to be very, very serious.
Yeah, I can imagine that just being an incredible set to be on. Were you, did you laugh all the way through it? Like, I think I would just burst out laughing.
No, we had to be very serious. It was watching the cameramen that made me laugh, though, because they thought, in amongst this rather polished series of sketches that were so good, what's going on? She's picking up the phone and it's still ringing, or Duncan's got the boom on his head. What's happening? And their quizzical looks, thinking, I don't understand what's going on. And you've just banged into my camera. They didn't get it, which was thrilling. because they didn't understand what was happening
Oh my God.
until the last.
I see. Yeah, I
Oh,
see.
so good.
I can imagine them
But we had to
going
be
home and chatting to their
very
friends like,
serious.
what's going on?
Very serious.
I do slightly subscribe to the idea that if you're good at comedy, that can like carry through and make you fantastic at sort of more serious roles as well, because it's all about timing and delivery, and it's quite an economical genre to work in. Do you find that your time in comedy has helped you in other roles as well?
I hope so. I mean, I do love it. You know, it's all very well being silent in some drama. That's great. But actually, the sound of people laughing, which I haven't heard very much of, she looks around the room asking for a little bit more laughter. The thing is, it's just a physical, we like you.
Yeah.
But it's just a physical approval. It's an audible approval.
Yeah, it's that instant feedback, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is bliss.
We're briefly interrupting this programme to let you know that your favourite cinema needs you.
This year, BIFA have launched the inaugural Cinema of the Year award, supported by Kia and decided by you.
Nothing beats that feeling of watching a brilliant film on the big screen, and we want to celebrate the cinemas that allow us to do just that. Cinemas at the heart of their communities that bring audiences together and champion independent film.
Voting is now open for cinema goers to decide the nominees for the Cinema of the Year. So if you love your local cinema, now is your chance to prove it.
Head to the show notes of this episode for the link to cast your vote, and tune in to BIFA's social media on Monday 3rd of November to find out all the nominees for BIFA 2025. I have to say, some of your credits, like Ab Fab, Calendar Girls, Bridget Jones, Finding Your Feet, Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, Nanny McPhee, St. Trinian's, Mamma Mia even. I sort of class them within the world of British films that are like definitive of that British sense of humour. I wondered what the sort of British sense of humour as an idea, what does that mean to you?
It's interesting how Ab Fab, absolutely fabulous, for instance, travelled right across the world.
Yes.
Because everybody understands people who drink too much, smoke too much, go out to parties and are thoroughly badly behaved. Everybody understands that.
Yeah.
But if you get too English, then it's more difficult for the Americans to understand, perhaps. I don't know. But, you know, we seem to swap quite well as countries, I think. There is a difference. I'm not quite sure what it is, particularly.
But it seems as though in all of the titles that Joy has mentioned, you're so drawn to just having fun. You know, how important is it to you when you're working that is, you know, at the fundamental core of what you're doing?
Of course, I love fun. Doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
But you have to get to it after a while, because I mean, you know, first days of rehearsals and first days on a film set is terrifying. I'm not going to pretend, and I don't think it gets any easier. So, you know, it's lovely if you can get to know each other, you know, and have a little bit of time together, and then you can start having fun. But it's hard to do that on the first day. But I think it's absolutely essential.
And did you know while you were making some of these films that they were going to provide us with some of the most kind of iconic scenes of all time?
No, I don't think you do know that, actually. I mean, I'm ashamed to say there was a time when I was asked to go and do a reading of a film. Now, I'm not a very good sight reader, so I sort of slightly dread it. But anyway, I went to this very posh hotel, huge, great table, and we began to read this script. The lead actress who'd been cast wasn't there because she was in America. Anyway, I got halfway through and I went, there was a break, and I rang a friend of mine. And I said, I'm doing this reading of a film. It's about this person, she wants to give up drinking too much wine, she wants to give up cigarettes, she thinks she's too fat. She doesn't really do anything, she writes a book, and it's never going to be made, nothing happens. She said, Seals, is it Bridget Jones' Diary? I said, how do you know? And she said, Seals, it's only been out in the newspapers for the last 2 years, bits of it. And I said, well, you know, nothing happens. So, I mean, I suppose I'll do it if I, you know, anyway. That's
the rest
the
is
truth.
history.
That's
And then
the
you're there
truth. I know.
25, is it something like 25 years later,
Something like
fourth
that.
movie?
Yeah, it's funny though, isn't it? Because you don't these things that we see as iconic now, and like, of course, that was going to be always going to happen and always going to be that moment. Actually, there's a huge amount of uncertainty on the other side,
Oh, yes.
isn't there?
And quite right, so there should be. Because
Yeah.
otherwise you'd become too complacent. But something I meant to say, there is so much luck in this life. And when you list those films, which I'm lucky enough to be in, I'm lucky enough, by the way, I still think I'm 26. However, had I not been the age I was when I did Calendar Girls, which, by the way, is 20 years ago, it wouldn't have worked. That story was about those marvellous, courageous women who were of an age where women don't take their clothes off because it's too, difficult thing to do at that age. But they did, and that was the whole point of the story. Now, if I'd been 20, you couldn't. That wouldn't have been the story.
Yeah.
So I was lucky to be the age I was. Similarly, I'm lucky to be the age I am now, though I hate it, to be in Thursday Murder Club, because I couldn't be doing that part if I was any younger. Now, I hate the idea of being the age I am, and I pretend I'm not, but it is relevant to the list of people that you've read out. So I'm lucky.
Yeah, Calendar Girls, for me, it genuinely is one of my favourite British films of all time, and I think it does fit that. There's something about the British sense of humour and the sort of the WI stuffiness, but then also the fact that everyone takes their kit off as well. It's like the two sensibilities
amazing.
clashing against each other.
And then they raised so much money. I mean,
Yeah.
it was truly brave and courageous of them, actually.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. Did you get to speak to the real life women
Yes,
a lot
yes.
beforehand, or
Quite a lot,
Oh,
yes, and
really?
they were there.
Okay.
And I went to a WI meeting,
Oh,
Nice.
that's amazing.
which I'd never done before. That's the other thing about my life. I mean, I do get to, learn how to trapeze, all sorts of things I've lucky enough to do and go to places.
Yeah, what fun. Another thing about Calendar Girls is not only was it roles for women who are not 26, let's say, but it was also a ensemble cast of all of you together. And I imagine it must be quite rare to get a script across your desk that is a sort of big ensemble cast of women.
Well,
maybe it's the kind of cast where you would be going up for the similar roles in other films, and then there you all are together.
Well, because Julie and I knew each other, which was marvellous. I think, and Angela and Geraldine, we knew of each other, I think. But yes, it was marvellous all to be together, and also in really and truly such a vulnerable position, because I was first to take my clothes off.
Yeah.
And I don't like taking my clothes off in front of myself, let alone anybody else. But I knew I had to do it because that was the story. And it's no good making a fuss on the first day if you starting, being ridiculous about it. I really had to do it. It's quite good for me to do that. But then we all helped each other, as the women in the story did. So
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And there was, of course, a glass of champagne waiting for you at the end
You
of it,
bet.
I imagine.
That was
Yes,
my idea.
always.
Champagne and twiglets. Yes, in my dressing room. Immediately.
Nice. And there's an iconic line for you. Do that moment, which is a bit of an ode to Jaws, I believe, which I understand you're a big fan of. We're going to need bigger buns. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Oh, is that what? Was there a line in Jaws about that? Oh, maybe. I don't know. Yes, I think you're
never
right.
Put that together.
Neither
Obviously,
had I.
Oh, really?
No, never.
Oh, I
No.
thought maybe I'm getting it wrong. I thought
No,
it was
I don't-
we're
no,
going
I
to
think
need
you're-
bigger buns. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Considerably. By the way, marvellous film.
Brilliant.
Marvellous film.
Amazing. film.
Still.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it for ages, but wonderful.
It is great. Yeah, I think you told a very great story about that line being kind of spoken at you and really odd
Screamed out at me
situations.
by some little girl when I was on the end of a pier. Screaming out, "Oh, you're bigger ones, aren't you?" Yes, I don't mind.
That must have been a fun one. Were you there when the Calendar Girls got to see the film for the first time?
I guess we were all there at the premiere, I should think. I remember I met Elton John then,
No
which
way.
was rather thrilling. I expect we all watched it together. It's a very weird thing watching yourself, though. But I do, because I want to see the whole thing. I want to see everybody else. It's not just me.
You want to see the final product of what you've been working towards.
And I'm sure you must have had some really nice industry stories to share with the other women as well, because you've all had such interesting careers up until that point. So
yes, but oddly, work stories are okay, but it's much more interesting to hear about people's lives.
Yeah.
I realise more and more now, I love documentaries, much more than drama, because I'm obsessed with crime documentaries, actually. I love to watch people pretending that they didn't do whatever they said they, being questioned and seeing how they squirm in their chairs.
You're interested in true crime. That's handy for your role in Thursday Murder Club. I know a lot of people were sort of picturing you in the role of Joyce before it was announced.
Well, some were, some weren't, though. You see, this is the thing.
Yeah.
You should never read about things online. Disaster. Because the books are so well loved. And I suppose the great thing about reading a book is that you can read it and you can cast it yourself in your own mind's eye.
Yeah.
But I hope the readers of the book will like what we've done with the film. Obviously, it's difficult because you can't fit everything into it. But, people have their own ideas of casting, and I hope that they'll approve.
I can't imagine anyone that's going to be disappointed with that.
Well,
lineup.
we'll see.
Again, Dame Helen Mirren, you have Ben Kingsley, Pierce Brosnan, such a fantastic ensemble. Yeah, it's crazy. And speaking of Jules and Steven Spielberg, he is a producer, I believe.
Yes,
and
he snapped up the rights.
Yeah. And
cleverly.
so what was that like to see him on set? Was that a strange experience?
Well, I knew he was coming. I didn't know he was going to land in his helicopter one day, but he did.
Hollywood.
Amazing.
So Hollywood.
I love it.
But my horror in life is I am forever starstruck, and I hope I always will be. But what do you talk about? What am I going to talk about?
Yeah.
And this is my horror ever since I was a little girl. And then I thought, I know what I will do. Years and years ago, when I was on tour with Glenda, first stop Australia, second stop Los Angeles. And because she was so famous, we got to have a private tour of the lot at Universal. So we were on this little train, and on the side of the dusty road, there were sort of 3 grey lumps of things. And I said to the driver, can you stop a minute? What is this thing here? And he said, it's some B film about a shark. It'll never be made. It'll never be seen, rather, not made. And because I'd had an absolute obsession about sharks when I was in Australia, my friend said, Seals, get out and get into the mouth. So there I am, in the mouth of Bruce.
Oh my gosh.
And that is a photograph of me inside Bruce's mouth.
Incredible.
And so I thought, I know. I'm going to get my friend to blur it up and I will present it to Mr. Spielberg when he's on set. He couldn't have been more delighted, actually.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's true.
It's incredible. Yeah, what did he say? What was his reaction? Speechless, perhaps?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Because it's the 50th anniversary this year.
Yeah. I'm hoping that'll get a cinematic.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Release on.
I'll
It
be
should.
there.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Any other memorable moments from on set of Thursday Murder Club? I think.
I'm trying to think. People always ask that, and of course it all goes
Yeah.
way out of your
Yeah,
mind.
Sorry, I
But
know.
no, don't be silly. But our wonderful director, I loved because he was enthusiastic and encouraging. And actually, what more do you want, really? But it was slightly alarming to meet up with Dame Helen again, because it's 20 years since we met, really. But she couldn't have been more charming and lovely. And Piers I knew from before. And Sir Ben Kingsley I was quite nervous of because I didn't know him. Piers and Emma Thompson and Tim Spall and I were all in Love Punch together.
You've mentioned before that the best advice that you've been given is to make a nuisance of yourself. When was the last time you made a nuisance of yourself?
Yesterday, I should think.
Nice.
Or this morning. No, that was given to me by... I was cleaning for Arthur Schwartz, composer, American, in Knightsbridge, so he had all the mod cons. And then I said I had to leave because I'd got a job. And that was his advice. Make a nuisance of yourself.
I love that.
But so I have been ever since. Afraid.
And we're so glad that you have been.
Oh, good. But I'm so pleased also that I keep meeting young people like you who love better things. And I'm so proud of that. That was a piece of luck too, just happening to dare myself to go to Los Angeles and just see what happens. I vowed I'd never do that, but my son was happily at drama school, and so I thought, well, it's now or never. And so I just happened to be there. And how lucky, actually.
Yeah, a lot of people I've mentioned your name to are like, oh, from Better Things.
Yeah,
it's so
really
exciting.
blown up. Because there was a while where it wasn't available in the UK, but now it is. It's BBC, isn't it? So,
and the marvellous Pamela Adlon, who I play her mother. And people say, is it very different working in America to England? No, not really. The only thing I noticed that was different is that weekends are sacrosanct, whereas here, you often have to film on a Sunday because that's where the location is available.
Yeah.
But no, I'm delighted that it's being so popular.
Nice.
And amazing because she is the showrunner as well as the director and the writer. So she's got so many hats on a project like that, which must be really inspiring.
It is.
Yeah.
And we did 5 seasons, and there was the season in between where I did King Lear, and went back over to America. And first day on set, she said, "Oh, I don't want any of that Goneril acting going on. No, I don't want any of that." Which was my part in King Lear. I adore her.
Nice.
She's absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
Straight talking always.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so funny.
Of course.
I always hear like Americans they sort of hold like British actors with such like reverie, and I just love that. That was the absolute opposite of the
No. Oh God, no. But actually, that's the best compliment you can get. I know that we are a bit polite all over the place, but my best friend is from Liverpool, and she'll say, "I suppose you think you look nice in this, do you?" And I know that means okay.
Yeah.
I didn't at the beginning, though.
Nice. Yeah, my dad's Scottish, so if it's not a direct insult, it's a compliment. That's
exactly.
That's what I've learned. Like,
well, I'm half Scots.
Yeah,
there you go. Talking of Scotland, you've just popped up to Scotland to film Celebrity Traitors.
So I did.
Yeah. How was that, filming in Scotland?
Marvellous. I mean, I love Scotland anyway.
Yeah.
But it was certainly an adventure.
Nice.
I ain't going to tell you no more.
I know. We want to know everything, but I'm sure you're very well prepped not to tell us anything. What about Claudia Winkleman's outfits in real life?
Staggering.
Yes. Oh, okay.
I'm so excited. I've got high expectations now. They've been set, so...
Yes, she's always got amazing outfits, as do you. So yes,
well,
a lot of.
Well, that's thanks to she says rather grandly, my stylist Arabella Boyce, who's quite wonderful. I loathe shopping. I have no dress sense, so this is all made up.
Oh wow!
Thanks to her.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm doing a fantastic job. We're obsessed with the suit today. It's so great.
Did you watch much of Traitors before you got involved?
I did, and I think it's the cleverest game I've ever come across.
It's so much fun.
And I know that I've said this before, but I can't not. But my son's reaction was the best. Because he kept saying, "What are you doing, Mum, next? What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm not going to tell you, but you can guess if you want," because we had watched it together. And in the end, he guessed. And he went, "Oh, God, oh, Mum, oh, Mum, oh, Mum." Meaning, you're going to be so embarrassing. No. He ran up the stairs and down again. "Oh, Mum, oh, God, oh, Mum." He's probably right. I probably am going to be, but
I feel like that would fuel me to want to do it even more.
Oh, 100%.
I'd done it by then.
Yeah.
Oh no, I hadn't. No, he said, "You don't know what you're in for." Well, I didn't really.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was great.
No,
I enjoyed
imagine. Yeah, if you're wanting to have a lot of fun, the Traitors set must be a good place for that. Quite grand and...
Well, yes, but it's quite full on.
Yeah, I bet,
it really
actually.
is.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, with the tasks, they're
they're intense, aren't they?
very intense. No, I'm incredibly excited.
And I suppose with the celebrity cast, you kind of have potentially a slight disadvantage to when it's not celebs, because people sort of already know you a little bit.
I have a preconception.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
who
you can't
are.
pretend to be Welsh, for example, as they did in the last series.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you can pretend to be nice, which I'm not, by the way. No, but the thing is, usually I'm playing a part.
Yes.
So it's only these circumstances or a chat show where people interview you. Mm-hmm. And actors are not particularly good at that. I mean, I find it quite, difficult.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got a part to play.
Mm-hmm. Do you have advice for young actors who are trying to get into the biz?
Well, I mean, I can't change my advice because I stand by it. But I would never put anyone off. And when I saw my son playing Queen Victoria in Lipstick and Pearls when he was age 10 at his boys' school, I knew he would, and he is, and I'm very proud of him. I'd never put anyone off, but I would only say you've got to want to do it or die. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, simply no point in even starting. Is that fair?
Yeah, you've got to have the passion to persist.
Or the lunacy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to ask that actually. You got that advice about being a nuisance when you were doing a cleaning job. Did you work a lot of different jobs on the side of acting, and did they help inform your sort of sense of the world going into different characters?
Well, I was a singing waitress once in the Shakespeare Tavern.
Oh my God.
Where people could eat all they want, which was fine until they were sick on the table, and then I pretended I was not waiting at their table.
Fair enough.
Totally
God,
fair.
honestly. So I've been a cleaner, I've been a nanny, I've been all sorts. And actually, I do remember making a vow when I left being at drama school. No, I can't say drama school because I did the dancing teachers course at Guildford, thinking I don't really want to share a flat with an actor or an actress, because when in my career have I ever been asked to play an actor? Mm-hmm. Very, very rarely. Actually, of course, Miss Babs was an actress. But it's so rare that you've got to have life, you've got to learn about life from real people. Mm-hmm. I mean, because we're not real. For instance, when I go to America, I go on the train across America, and you all have to eat together. And so, it's wonderful to meet people from other walks of life, because then, there's a chance that I might be able to, possibly have to play their profession. Mm-hmm. So I do go seek out people from different walks of life, though if you ask me, are the majority of my friends actors and actresses? Yes, they probably are. Mm-hmm. But it's important to keep a handle on real life, if you can, as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And that sort of informs your
So,
characters.
waiting and cleaning and things like that was always a very good idea.
Yeah, of course. I think, honestly, that is truly what's kind of the brilliance behind your work, and the fact that you've had such an amazing career that's spanned over 5 decades, is that consistent curiosity that you still have and find pockets of. It's amazing really to see this like kind of joie de vivre that you really bring to every role that you have, but it's very clear in the room as well talking to you. It's
good.
Really amazing to see. You did speak about your son, who is also an actor. You've
Yes.
worked together on
Yes.
The Kingdom.
Yes.
Is that an interesting thing to split, I guess, that personal and professional relationship?
Well, that occasion, he was about, I think he was about 13 or 14.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago, 2007,
Yes.
I believe. Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time shouting at him, which I thought, well, that's not acting. That's just happening.
Been preparing for
I'm
that
afraid.
one for a while.
Yes. But I'm extremely proud of him. He's very, very good.
So a fun one is, what is your favourite cinema snack when you find yourself in?
Oh, popcorn, of course.
Yeah,
Nice.
sweet
Salted.
Salted.
Salted,
Okay,
yes.
lovely. It's a good. Very
Or
staple.
Maltesers.
Ooh, nice.
A box of Maltesers because it doesn't make a noise.
Yeah. It's always a play
Except
off
rolling
between...
around at the end when you finish the box.
Yeah, the one left.
Yes.
This year, BIFA are introducing a new award, which is for Best Cinema. Do you have a favourite cinema in the UK that you like to visit?
Well, there's a wonderful one down Portobello Road, I seem to remember.
Ooh, nice.
The
which
Electric, is it?
Yes, I think so.
It's a great one.
I wish I went more, actually. It's sort of mad not to. But I guess that's the one that comes to mind. Yeah.
And is there a film that you've rewatched the most? Are you much of a film rewatcher?
I think I can never tire of All About Eve. Funnily enough, my director last week said, "What is your favourite film?" And I was very touched because I'm only 26, of course, but I've been going for a bit of time. And it's surprising to me that, for instance, you don't necessarily, some young actors don't know who Bette Davis is, for instance, which surprises me.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's one of her greatest films. It's black and white, All About Eve. But what was thrilling about when my director asked me what my favourite film was, I told him, and that night he went and watched it, which I thought was rather wonderful. It's a brilliant film. There's another wonderful film which breaks my heart called The Untouchables, which I think is one of the greatest films.
I love it.
Actually,
It's so good.
It breaks your heart, but it's French, isn't it?
Yeah, with Omar Sy. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway,
Yeah. I always bawl my eyes out that movie.
Do you have a favourite film soundtrack?
Man and a Woman is rather brilliant. The Sandpiper is brilliant. I love film music, actually.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite quote from a film?
Bette Davis's "It's gonna be a bumpy night."
Nice.
I can't do it like she does, and I wouldn't dream to. But anyway,
Honestly, been such a huge pleasure.
Yeah,
truly.
it's an honour to get to chat to you. So thanks so much for your time.
no, you've been marvellous, both of you. I don't know what I've been talking about. A load of old nonsense, probably. But you can cut it together.
Thanks for listening to the BIFA Podcast, supported by Kia. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts to get new episodes as they land. And please tell all of your friends about the podcast to help spread the word. We want all the film fans to be able to find us.
The BIFA Podcast is supported by Kia. The hosts are Joy Hunter and Karis Aldridge. Produced by Daniel Aldrich and Kat Butterfield for Audacious Productions alongside the BIFA team. Director of Photography is Louis Hudd. Audio engineers are Nathan Cooper and James Gibbons McGregor. Filmed at Fiction Studios. Thanks for listening.